Hi. Hello. Hi, and welcome to episode 158 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. I'm Ren, and today I'm going to be completing part two of our harvest, like Magic of Harvest season, um, kind of talk. And I know that it's now kind of getting past harvest season and we're past Thanksgiving and all of that. So I do want to apologize. I feel like we've been saying this a lot. Has been one heck of a year. And I will say thank you to everybody who still listens to us, even though we aren't as consistent as we should be and need to be. Um, we definitely have a lot going on, and especially with River and her head condition, she it's been off and on. So here I am. I'm going to complete part two of our harvest season. It is going to be relatively short since I am alone and we aren't going to have our banter like we did in part one. And I will say that I am recording our After Dark today as well, and so we will have that up. I might just post it immediately. I know we've been behind, so we are trying to get caught up. And I have other things that I'm going to try to get done today as well for all the listeners who have reached out to us and everything like that. We are getting to it just very slowly. So, yes. So part two of Magic of Harvest. So here we go. So, I know we've already kind of talked about like ideas for using harvest herbs and plants, but I'm just going to pick it right up because I feel like this is where we left off. Um, so I'm going to say that you can create a harvest altar with seasonal produce like the apples, pumpkins, and squash, like how I was talking about, like the symbols and herbs and plants that you could use. And you can arrange them alongside with symbols of prosperity and protection. You can also make a prosperity sachet. I do remember saying sachet. I always read it as sachet, but it's sachet. Using dried greens, basil, rosemary, and you can carry it with you to attract abundance and success. I need a little bit of that right now. And then you can burn sage or rosemary to cleanse your space as you reflect on the blessings of the year. And this can also be used to prepare for winter. And then after that, you can have maybe a little bit of an end of harvest reflection, where you can ask questions for anything that you've had. It's sort of like shadow work, and I would say you can journal this as well. So, I'm going to go through a little bit of breakdown in that. So, for gratitude and abundance, you can kind of break it down into what blessings and abundance have come into your life this year. And you can answer them. Like it's just kind of like a little bit of shadow work, journaling, and you can kind of just, I know every day gets so hectic that you turn around and the year's already gone. How did we already get to November? I don't know. And so this is a really good way to just sit down and reflect on your year. And in this case, about gratitude and abundance. And so you can say, how have I cultivated this gratitude and abundance? Like, how have I made it to this year and what have I done? And which relationships or achievements or personal qualities am I grateful for this year? And then what areas of my life feel abundant right now? And how can I show gratitude for them? And then how does abundance manifest in my spiritual practice? Maybe you can incorporate that a little bit, or maybe you have incorporated that a little bit this year. And then how can I invite more of it? If you like how it's going, how do you keep this kind of vibe going? So you can write about a time in your life that you feel deeply grateful. You can kind of break it down into the emotions that you experienced and what does like what does gratitude mean to you? You can also do a section on personal growth and reflection. Reflect on the goals you set earlier this year. What have you achieved and what remains to be unfinished? What challenges have you overcome and how have they helped you grow? Maybe how have your spiritual practice, like maybe you had less of it like how I did this year, and what do you want to do with that? Or maybe you've had more, and so you've had a little bit of personal growth. So what new insights or skills have you gained as well? And are there any habits, thoughts, or beliefs that, you've already kind of released into this year? Like maybe you've gained a good habit, lost a bad one. What kind of patterns or themes have repeated themselves in this year or maybe your life? And what lessons do they hold? There's a lot that you can do with shadow work and journaling, and especially in each section. Like personal growth and reflection is very different to everybody. So you don't have to be like, yeah, habits and thoughts, and yeah, you don't have to do that. You could, if there's something else that you kind of resonate more with that you did this year in your personal growth journey, then I would write that down. And then there are cycles and seasons. So, how do the cycles of nature influence my personal and spiritual life? What does the harvest season mean to me on a symbolic and spiritual level? How does the changing season make me feel? And what does this reflect in my inner world? Like, how is it changing my inner thoughts and my inner self? You can write about the ways you honor the natural cycles. Are there seasonal rituals, spells, or practices that kind of resonated with you? And how did you align your intentions with energy and the cycle of Earth and um as like and the cycle of Earth as it moved towards winter? How did you do that? I feel like these are all really good questions, especially if you work with the seasons and the cycles of our planet. I feel like these are great starters to kind of get you thinking about these types of things. So, there are some unusual ways to celebrate magic in November, and I know I'm literally posting this on the last day of November. I'm so sorry. But uh, it's been a journey. So maybe we can use some of these in December as well. So you can capture a storm in a jar. So November is known for its powerful storms, especially in certain regions like the Great Lakes, where they're referred to as the Witch of November storms. To capture the energy of these storms, you can take a small jar or vial outside during a storm, let rainwater or even snow, whichever it is, fall into it, then seal it and keep it on your altar to symbolize strength, transformation, and protection through challenging times. This storm in a jar can be used in spells for resilience, power, and endurance. You can also do leaf scrying. So, we all have fallen leaves that carry the energy of both life and decay, making them powerful tools. Wow, did you hear my southern twang come out? Tools for divination. You can gather a handful of autumn leaves, close your eyes, and scatter them on a dark surface or on the ground. Open your eyes and observe their shapes, patterns, and even symbols that may have appeared. And then interpret the signs of tea leaves as well. This kind of goes into leaf scrying. Um, it is leaf scrying. Oh my gosh. So, looking for insight about what's coming in the winter months, challenges, or maybe opportunities. You can do firelight shadow magic. So, November's longer nights make it ideal for working with firelight shadows. You can sit by a fire, candlelight, bonfire, whatever it may be, and let the light cast shadows onto a wall or another surface. Gaze into the shadows and let shapes and symbols emerge, much like scrying. And this practice can reveal hidden parts of yourself, shadow aspects you might want to work on, or messages from the spirit guides. And then gratitude pebble charm. I love these. These are so fun, and we both work together to try to find some really interesting ones, um, and try to keep it a little bit fresh. And oh, I never thought about that, or I could use this in that way. So that's really one thing I really love about our podcast is we come up with fun things like gratitude pebble charms. So collect a small stone or a pebble, or it could even be an acorn and hold it in your hands every day throughout November. Each day, think of something specific that you're grateful for, infusing the stone or acorn with positive energy. And at the end of the month, bury the stone in the ground as a gesture of gratitude to the earth and wish for abundance and good fortune. I like the idea of the acorn because there could be a potential that could turn into a tree or plant, question mark. I'm not the botanist. I don't know how to do things like that. So is that how that works? I don't know. Greg, let me know. Um anyways, so you can also do ancestor footpath work. Feel like we've talked about this before on the podcast, but just to reiterate, you can honor your ancestors by taking a meditative walk along a path they might have walked, or simply find a quiet path in nature. As you walk, feel yourself connecting with your lineage and invite the presence of your ancestors to walk alongside you. This can be done silently or while speaking to them out loud. And then you can listen for any intuitive messages, signs, or symbols that may come through and leave a small offering of thanks at the end of your walk, like a coin or dried herbs, or I guess it could be an acorn again. You can also do a candle smoke cleansing for intention setting. So you can use a dark candle, such as black or a deep purple. I really like doing like the deep red colors and allow it to burn as you reflect on anything that you might want to release as the year winds down. Hold your hands over the candle as it burns, but very carefully, and visualize the smoke carrying away negative energy, self-doubt, or worries can also be one of those things that kind of the smoke carries away. And then afterward, you light a white candle or a clean like a it could be yellow, it could be anything that symbolizes renewal or anything like that. And in hopes for the future. And then practice brings both sense of closure and a fresh start. So you kind of burn away with the dark and light a fresh one to symbolize a renewal. Um, yeah. And then for kitchen witchery with root vegetables, with November's root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, turnips, these are all great for grounding and protection. So create a root vegetable soup or a stew with intention, stirring in wishes for health, warmth, and protection. As you prepare the food, like envision each vegetable bringing specific energies to your meal. Eat this mindful meal as you kind of work your way through grounding and fortifying yourself this winter. And then hearthy magic and pine cones with pine cones and chestnuts. So pine cones and chestnuts and acorns are plentiful in November and make excellent like natural magical tools. Gather a few and write on each one something you'd like to release. For example, fear, self-doubt, anything like that. Then toss them into a fire, release, and this will release these things into the flames, letting them transform. The smoke and heat then carry your intentions upward, helping you let go and prepare for new beginnings. Next, you have personal harvest ceremony. So you can host a small personal harvest ceremony where you acknowledge your achievements and reflect on what have harvested, quote, harvested in your life. This can include personal growth, lessons learned, relationships, or skills you've developed. Write each one on a piece of paper and place it in a jar or a bowl. As you read them aloud, express gratitude for each one, recognizing the hard work it took to get there. And by lighting a candle as a symbol of continued prosperity and success, this can then be carried through in the coming winter. And then we have a shadow release ritual with fallen branches. So find a small fallen branch and carve or write any qualities that you wish to release into it, such as anger, procrastination, fear, and then you bury the branch in the earth, symbolizing your intent to release these qualities back to the earth to decompose and transform. Then cover it with leaves or soil and thank the earth for helping you release and renew. I really like this one. I might do it. Like it doesn't have to be a big branch, just a little tiny branch, and then just write what you want to be released, and that's it. And then mirror gazing, which I won't be doing this one, but November is a time for introspection, and mirror gazing can be a powerful tool for self-reflection, anything like that. So sit quietly by a candle, like by candlelight, with a small mirror and gaze into your own eyes, focusing on connecting with your inner self. Allow any messages, emotions, or insights to rise to the surface. You may ask yourself questions or let your inner wisdom speak freely. This practice can reveal hidden desires, strengths, or areas needing attention. And then you can create a seasonal protection wreath. So using local fallen branches, pine cones, dried herbs, autumn leaves, you can create your own protection wreath for your home. As you build it, you can weave in protective intentions for your household or whatever it is through the winter, visualizing the wreath as a shield. Hang it on your door as a way of honoring the harvest and inviting protective energies into your space. And then you can do a moonlit gratitude walk. So take a walk during a clear November night and pause to express gratitude under the moon. This can be as simple as listing things that you're thankful for or speaking words of appreciation to the night sky. And the moonlight and the quiet of the season amplify this gesture, making it a serene, magical way to show thanks. And then I have two little rituals, like actual rituals, that you can do during this season on the last day. I'm so sorry. Okay. So this ritual allows you to express gratitude to the earth's gifts and the blessings in your life. It's a perfect to perform outdoors in a garden or any other like nature space. You will need a small bowl of fresh seasonal fruits, grains, or vegetables. So this could be apples, corn, squash, etc. You'll need a candle that is orange or yellow for abundance, and a small, like, offering bowl or a basket. So you're going to find a quiet space and place the candle in front of you. You're going to arrange the fruits or vegetables around it, light the candle, and take a few deep breaths, centering yourself. Hold the offering bowl in your hands and one by one place each fruit or vegetable in it. With each item, express gratitude for something in your life, speaking it aloud in your mind. Speaking it aloud or in your mind. And then once you've placed each item in the bowl, hold it to your heart and thank the earth for her abundance. Leave the offerings outside in the natural space as a gift to the land and the spirits. Or you can enjoy the produce later, and it could also offer as a blessed meal. I like the blessed meal part, but I also like the idea of just leaving it. Um, that would, I think, be nice as well. And then last but not least, you can I have a harvest abundance spell jar. So River does more of the spell jars, but this one I thought was pretty cool. So this spell jar captures the energy of abundance and prosperity to support your goals and intentions during the darker months. It serves as a reminder of your personal power and the blessings surrounding you. So you will need a small jar, grains of rice, oats, or corn to represent abundance. You're going to use dried herbs such as basil for prosperity, rosemary for protection, and cinnamon for success. Then you're going to have a small coin. This will represent wealth. A few drops of honey, which is can be associated with sweetness and gratitude. Now, if you just want the sweetness, you could do sugar, any type of sweetener. But honey is also really good for gratitude. And then a green or gold ribbon. So you're going to start by cleansing your jar with smoke or a cleansing spray. You can run it under water, you can use incense, you can use salt, whatever it is. And then you're going to layer the grains in the jar, visualizing abundance and prosperity filling your life. Add the herbs, speaking your intention for each one. Basil, bring me prosperity, etc. Then drop the coin in the jar, visualizing wealth and stability. Add a few drops of honey, sealing it in gratitude and harmony. Then you're going to seal the jar and wrap the ribbon around the lid, focusing your intention on for ongoing abundance and gratitude. Keep the jar on your altar or in a special place as a reminder of the harvest's blessings. And then this will help it kind of flow through your life. I really like this because you get to keep it, and I feel like you can recharge your spell jars under like the moon and stuff like that with whatever intention you're wanting for it. So that is part two. It's a little bit shorter because there's no jibber jabber between River and I, or me, River and me. So I want to say thank you. I'm going to try to get so caught up today. Um, I know it's already late in the day when I'm going to post this, but it's all right. Um, Hopefully we can start getting back on track and getting ahead. Um, so yeah, so thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard, you can go to www.c3witchypodcast.com. There we try to keep all of our stuff updated. It hasn't been updated in a little bit, but that's where you have information on our episodes and our After Dark episodes, and that's where we have our blog and our merch. And if you want to know how to support us, that all of that information is there through Patreon and Buzzsprout. It tells you what you get with each one. Um, I know there's something else, but thank you so much for listening, and we really hope we can get back to being consistent. So until then, stay witchy.